A lot of people's true colors are being exposed. Like, this is a time where you really see people for who they are. If you had suspicions of someone being a scammer or a charlatan or whatever, like, this is a time where you are finding out. Like, you should have already found out if your suspicions were true or not. And if they're not being exposed publicly, you as an individual, you as someone who's dealing with people who are not honest, who are not based in integrity, you are seeing exactly what you need to see. Like, I feel like this is a time where things are just coming to surface. Even if they're not blatantly talking about it, like, let's say there is no external stuff that exposed them, but something clicked, like something is clicking in your brain. Maybe it was a conversation, maybe they just did something, maybe they just said that one thing, and then like you just needed that one minor thing to click and have that aha moment, and you're like finally like realizing this person really is a scammer or a charlatan, just not someone that you had hoped for them to be. And it's like the weirdest thing ever, because you're also not surprised. Somehow you are seeing it, but you weren't seeing it. Like, you were looking at them, but you weren't seeing what you needed to see, you know? So it's like the weirdest feeling ever, because it's like you're not surprised, but also you're like repulsed, you know? I'm personally experiencing that right now. Like, I feel really betrayed by this one person right now, and it's just one person but I could talk about like many people. This was my last straw to finally have this realization, like, yo, this is really it. Like, we really are receiving all these revelations. Like, we have to take our observations and realizations very seriously, because we need to cut these people out of our life. And it's kind of scary, because these people have been the same people all this time. I don't know what it was, right? Like, but it's like sort of like having a veil over your face and you can't really see clearly, so it's like a foggy, your vision was foggy. You know, even the divine was sending you messages like, this is a red flag, but for whatever reason, like, it just didn't click. All the accumulation of what you might have been experiencing lately, like, it just kind of helps you see the dots connect, and you get to see who's real and who's not. And you get to see, I mean, hopefully you're having this realization. What you thought was real is not real. Like, that is the theme. You seeing people for who they are is a theme, or at least seeing people for how you need to see them for. And I think collectively, like, I'm hearing it as a message that maybe this is also a test for you. Maybe this is also going to be a test to see if you're going to make a decision that is true to yourself, or are you going to close your eyes once again and ignore this? Because maybe your position or something about your life is tied to this thing that you can't just immediately pack up and leave. Like, maybe it's like more complicated than simple in a lot of cases, because people, when they're operating out of fear, they don't make that change. They don't leave. They've seen all the things that they needed to see, they still don't leave. So if you are in that group, your life is not going to be good. Like, I promise you that. So I'm saying this with urgency. If you're in this place where you're seeing things for what they are, and you're having like this big reaction, like you're having this epiphany, you're like disgusted and like you're like repulsed, you need to do something with that. You can't just pretend like this is not happening. And I don't even think that this is the point of you not having a conversation with them. This is not about holding these people accountable anymore. Like, I mean, that's secondary almost. How can you hold these people accountable before you find your own power, right? So first, you gotta feel yourself. You gotta find your position of center. Remove yourself from these people and situations that don't align with your values. Like, hopefully at this time, like, you're aligned with yourself. I mean, that's the whole reason why you should be having a strong reaction, because why else would you be disgusted as someone who's out there scamming people, right? You don't scam people, and you see that as wrong. Like, you have conscience. Like, you don't recognize that as the right thing, right? So if you recognize right from wrong, wrong from right, then you also got to make decisions in accordance to that awareness. And you need to take this very seriously, and don't worry about spreading the word. Don't worry about, you know, exposing people unless you want to expose people. Here's the thing, whether or not you expose them, they're going to be exposed regardless one day. And you're not the only person who experiences this. Like, let's say that you're dealing with someone and you see people, like, you see this person for their true colors. Trust that you're not the only person who's seen this. So perhaps it takes a while for the world to see who these people really are. That being said, the first thing that you have to do is get yourself away. Like, you gotta really just make space for only the things that you want in your life.